Alright, so I'm going to, in this problem, write some code to capture the total number of students in grade 9, 10, 11, and 12, and calculate and output what percent of the total school population each of those values represents, and I'm going to output it to 2 decimal places. So let me go over to Cloud 9, paste that question in here, so I can remember what the heck I'm trying to do. Alright, so I am going to need to get the P number in each grade. So let's say those are integers. So let's call them freshmen, sophomores. In fact, here, let me make my life easier and just do the first little bit of each of those words because we can still tell what it is. Alright, and I'm going to have to ask the user for them. So let's say number of freshmen. Alright. And number of sophomores. I'm just gonna do it shorter so I don't have to type so much. Okay. See out number juniors. June. Number of seniors. Okay. So now I've got all the values collected, and I want to figure out some percentages. All the percentages are going to require that I have these values totaled. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a variable to hold that. Let's call it total students, and it's the sum of these guys. Okay. And then I am going to calculate what percent of the total class each of these classes is. So I'm going to go ahead and say freshmen and sophomores. I'm just going to start this before I do the math. Juniors, seniors. All right. And math is going to be like this. So I'm going to take the part, which is fresh in this case, and divide by tot students, and I'm going to multiply by 100. And it's going to be very similar each time. So I'm going to grab this part and just paste it and say soph, and then same thing here. So this is going to be June, and this is going to be seen. And I want to show you what this looks like right now. So if I run this thing, let's just say there's like 200 freshmen, 300 sophomores, 250, and 209. Okay, I got zeros for everything. So that's because my variables are all integers. Now it makes sense for them to be integers because you can't have a fraction of a student. A sloppy way to fix this is to make these doubles, but we don't want to be sloppy. So what I'm going to do instead is come right here. I just have to force one of these values to act as if it's a double temporarily. And the way I do that is by typecasting. All I have to do to make that happen is put the type I want it to pretend to be right in front of the variable. And I only have to do that to 1 in each of the calculations. Okay, so let's make sure I get numbers that are non-zero now. Let's see, 200, 250, 209, 300. Okay, so those are decimals now. That's great. They're all smushed, and they don't show a percent sign, so let's fix that. So let's say this is percent. Get out of here. Web storage, who cares about you? And then we'll say endl, and I'm going to add that on the end of all of them, so let me just grab it. Okay. Let's see if that looks better. All right, 200, 250, 300, 209. That looks much better, but there's one part of the problem I haven't done yet, and that is that I want to round it to 2 decimal places. So what I need to do is before I print these out, I have to set my precision. So I want there to be 2 decimal places, and remember, I never want to use this line alone, otherwise it controls the total number of digits, and that's not going to look right. I have to use it with this guy to set the iOS fixed flag. That means control the number of decimal places. So let's run it, make sure it works. 200, 300, 250, 209. I'm not being consistent with these numbers. Oh, and I thought I was hitting enter. I was hitting plus. 209. I'm doing it again. 250, 300. Yes, they all have 2 decimal places. Great.